at? Where's at? Austin, where's at? Texas, new crib, Austin, where's at? Where's at? Austin, where's at? Texas, new crib, Austin, where's at? Where's at? Austin, where's at? Texas, new
I usually start to set off with something that y'all are familiar with. It's usually in English. Because we down here in Texas, let's start off with some shit in Spanish. Fuck that. Toda mi gente, ¿están listos?
I got a new album out right now called The Martyr. It's the first time I, as Immortal Technique, have ever done a free project. The project is a compilation album of previously unreleased tracks and some new songs that I have. I got Killer Mike, Brother Ali, Chuck D, Joel Ortiz, Dead Prez, Styles P, Vinny Paz, production from Green Lantern, Jay Dilla, Southpaw, Shuko, a gang of people. And to me, I just want people to know that they can get some music that is fitting of the time we have now, that is also the continuation of the Revolutionary Volume 2 series into the Middle Passage, absolutely for free. And you can get it at viperrecords.com or just steal it off the Pirate Bay or whatever torrent site you're at. Just get it.
Yeah. So how did the collaboration with Chuck D and Brother Ali and Killer Mike, how did that happen?
Well, I had designed the idea of a song because I like to arrange a music of an inner conflict, of a civil war. And when I first wrote the first part of Civil War, I thought about a conflict between hip-hop that has been overblown by media, the conflict between East Coast hip-hop and down South hip-hop, and really how that cultural disconnect isn't reflective of a region as much of a status of underground or commercial, people who don't care about other people, individuals who are completely, removed from the hip-hop culture, even though they make music that's hip-hop, supposedly. So I found a lot of camaraderie in the South among real street artists, hardcore artists, artists that were independent, that pulled themselves up, that worked in a real do-it-yourself type scenario. So I decided that I would talk about the caricature of people of color in hip-hop and how that's not permeated by just individual artists, but very much so by a standard, a corporate standard, I should say, of what is acceptable in rap. An intelligent person of color speaking about real shit going on in the street is obviously, not as comfortable for a ruling class of people to watch as a discombobulated individual who is a caricature of himself. That's what America's more comfortable seeing Black and Latino people at. Smiling, dancing, oh, we're enjoying life because, even though we used to be slaves and we live on the bottom tier of what the society has to offer us, we can still be gladiators in your arena on Sunday, or, we can still run around and play ball and be models and shit like that. I think, though, at some point we have to confront the reality of what that means overall to us as a people and as a country. I talked to Killer Mike and we briefly went over kind of what I thought would be the next stage of focus, and he came up with the idea of doing it about street gangs that he had been around when he growing up. Like, yo, we need to talk to these young children to learn their history and learn how they ended up in this position where they're pitted to fight to the death against people who are not their enemy. I called Brother Ali because there had just been a lot of talk about us working together, and I said, yo, I got this track about inner conflict, is there any way you could come in here and write something about that? Maybe from the perspective, and I didn't write anything for him, I just said maybe from the perspective of Islam or feeling conflicted about that in America, and he just said, all right, he sat, thought about it, marinated it, and then knocked it out the fucking park. So that's how it all came together. Chuck D is an old friend of mine, from way back in the day. And when I say way back, I mean maybe like 8-9 years that I've known Chuck, where he's been available to give me advice, to talk to me about changing climate in hip hop. He's definitely an elder with a lot of knowledge to drop. Not Hollywood at all, very, very down to earth, complete man of the people. So, you know, any endeavor that I have that has his blessing, I feel blessed for. So he just said, yo, I like the song, I'll jump on the hook. You know, I want to be a part of the movement. I love this. I said, Chuck, I'm trying to be part of your movement.
Yeah.
So we just joke around with one another, and we made it happen.
Cool. And last question, I was wondering, like, have you been keeping up, or did you keep up with like the UNESCO vote and the Palestine vote?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's very interesting about the Palestinian struggle now is the building cultural disconnect that is being pushed forward by Israel between Gaza and the West Bank, because now it's like they're being pitted against one another. Certain rights are given to one, complete alienation is given to another. I think Israel is now suffering from a period of alienation in the region, which some people say is dangerous because it makes them able to justify very erratic behavior by feeling like they're isolated. Other people says that it might pressure them to actually come to the table. I guess we're going to find out. Obviously, the UNESCO vote, the United Nations debacle that took place, this isn't going to end. There's going to be more and more confrontations. But what's interesting about it is I think that that's something Mahmoud Abbas needed to do.
Yeah.
Because really he was at the verge of getting a vote of no confidence from his own people.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. And do you think BDS is like really important, has been important in that movement?
BDS, to me, I did this whole shit without radio, bro, you know?
No, I mean the boycott, divest sanction.
Oh, I just said BDS.
Yeah, no, my bad. Yeah.
Let's just switch topics there. BDS. Okay, sure, never. No, I think that's one solution.
Yeah.
I think it's a very powerful solution.
Yeah.
I think that's what addresses people more than anything else. I think to mischaracterize any divestment as being anti-Semitic is just pathetically grabbing for straws. You know, you have a political agenda. You have a freedom to not support anything with your money.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't want to support what I think is a corrupt foreign and domestic policy, I don't have to invest in your country. That doesn't make anybody anti-Semitic or full of hate. If anything, we want people to live in peace regardless of their religious affiliation or whatever orientation or whatever race, creed, color, him or her. And if we can do that by putting pressure on people through monetary means, why not? Hey yo, what's up? This is Immortal Technique, and I'm a Giants fan, 100% true and true, New York City in the fucking building. But for this one day, we're showing love to Longhorn hip hop down here in Texas. We out of here, baby. Peace.
Where's that? Austin. Where's that? Texas. New crib, Compton. Where's that? Austin. Where's that? Texas. New crib, Compton. Where's that? Austin. Where's that? Texas.